Hey guys, what's up? It's Retro, and I'm doing a video on KSP, a Kerbal Space Program. So, for those of you who don't know, this is a game, obviously, for the PC, independently developed. And what it is you pretty much build a spaceship with a bunch of parts that are provided for you, or a space station, or drone, things of that nature, space planes. And you you do whatever you want with them. So you put them in orbit around the Earth, around the Moon. Then there are a bunch of different planets. So I'm going to show you kind of the basics here. I'm not too great at this, and how to build a successful rocket. So I like to take this pod right here. Alright, I'm going to move this up, and then so these are all the parts here. You got engines, got fuel tanks, fuel lines. There are two kinds of engines. One is a solid fuel booster, which does it puts out a lot of thrust, but once you start it, you can't put it out. There's no throttle control on it, so yeah, you can't shut it down. Yeah, and it doesn't have too much fuel. It's good for getting off the ground. Then you have liquid fuel engines, which drain fuel from these liquid fuel tanks. And you know, those are throttle controlled. Speaking of controlling, here you have an SAS module, which what that does is I'm trying to think how to explain this. When you press the button to activate it, it locks your heading, so it'll keep you heading in that direction. And then to help with that, you have these RCS thruster packs, which you stick on the side, and what they do is they're these little engines that turn your ship around, turn your ship in all different directions. And you got some structural things like launch enhancers that you hook up to your rocket when you're launching. Got a multi-point connector for making space stations, whatnot. Decouplers in between stages, because rockets, they have stages. Got some aerodynamic-y sort of stuff. Electric, solar panels, and whatnot. Because if you plan on having something up in the space area for a while, you can't get any energy besides energy from the sun. So then the batteries to go along with that. Then you have some things here, antennas. But yeah, okay. So to build a successful rocket, this is what I do. So I like to put parachute. Actually, this is going to be in orbit, so I don't need to worry about that. Then to make it more aerodynamic, I'm going to put a nose cone on it. And then under the capsule, I'm going to put a decoupler. Where is it? Decoupler. Okay. Then I am going to put an SAS module. It's very helpful. And under that, I'm going to put some RCS fuel to power my RCS. So 2 should be good enough. And then put some RCS on there. 6 should do. And then I'm going to put some on the bottom as well, so it's not just moving the top. From here, I'm going to split the rocket into 2. So I will be able to put 2 tanks and 2 engines, like so. Okay, so I'm going to put a few of these fuel tanks here, probably about 3. Yeah, actually, on second thought, let me move this for 1 second. I'm going to put another decoupler, and I'm going to put a small engine with a little bit of fuel here. Let's use this one. Then we need another decoupler, so I'm gonna put that on that, and put that right back on there. So now we have a second stage in here. Yeah, when this gives out. So let's put some engines on here as well. Gonna go with these liquid fuel engines. And then for stability, so it doesn't fly apart, we're gonna put some struts to connect to both sides. Put a couple of those, like one for every fuel tank. Alright. So we have that. Now, next, what I'm going to do is I am going to add some radial decouplers. So what these do is it allows you to hook things up to the side. So I'm going to put 2 of these on, and then I'm going to put 2 large solid fuel boosters to get it up into space here. These are going to attach to these radial decouplers. Are not quite attached. There we go. And then I'm going to put a nose cone on either one of these. I don't know if I could find it. Here we go. There we go. So, yeah. You know, let me change this. 2 rockets are nice, but 3 is really the way to go here. That just gives you more thrust. And yeah. Another thing you always want to make sure of is your thrust to weight ratio, which means that you'll it's a ratio between the weight that you're pulling and how much thrust you're producing to get your airspeed, which is always what you want. It's a bicoupler, tricolor. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. Same thing we did before with these fuel tanks. Put 3 of these. We'll have even more thrust because of the 3rd engine and the 3rd booster. So we're gonna put the same fuel engine here. Put some more struts. One there. One here. And one here. Oops, that didn't want to connect. There we go. And then we're going to put those radial decouplers back on. Structural. Them up there. Grab those large boosters. Alright, those are on. Get the nose cones back on there. The adapter. And the nose cone. Alright. So, let's put some more RCS on to give further control over the spaceship. Put one there. Put one on here, even though these are going to be dropped very early. And one down there. That should be good enough. Alright, so now to sort out our stages. So we're going to have the boosters fire immediately, as well as these bottom engines. Just move these down. There we go. Alright, and then once these run out of fuel, I'm just going to hit spacebar to activate the next stage, which will decouple these boosters and reduce my weight. So then my next stage is separating this and going into this smaller rocket with the command pod on it. So yeah, let's save the craft and give it a shot. Like I said, I'm not awesome at this, but I can get a spaceship in orbit, which is what I'm going to do. Alright, it's nighttime. So basically what you have when you get into the spaceship view here is you have your little Kerbal knot, and here's his view. And then he has an Evo pack, which what that is there are these little kind of space jet packs that allow you to fly around. Here are my stages. Here's the map. I have several orbits already going with some satellites. yeah, some debris. And then I also have a satellite going around the sun here. And these are the planets, kind of renamed. Earth is called Kerbal, Moon is called Mun, M-U-N. But anyway, let's activate our SAS, lock it, and put our throttle up. Okay, I'm gonna hit spacebar and we're gonna launch. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Alright, here's our airspeed, altimeter, the atmosphere, what layer of the atmosphere we're in, sorry. The atmosphere ends at about 70,000 meters, so that's when I like to start greatly turning into getting a circular orbit around the Earth. So here you can see our solid fuel, which is at the bottom overall, and then our liquid fuel. So we're doing pretty good. These are almost out. Drop them. Three, two, one. There you go, those dropped. Okay. Now, as the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner, you get less air friction. So, what that means is basically you just start to speed up. And like I said, the atmosphere of Earth cuts at 70,000 meters. Vertical airspeed. So we're going pretty fast upwards. Alright, so let's look at our map. So, right now our apoapsis, which is the highest point in your orbit, is at 30,000 meters. I want to get that to about, I'd say 60 before I start to turn. Then I'm going to get an orbit around. I'm going to try and even out my apo and periapsis. The periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit. Right. That's at about 60. Okay. Cut my engines for a second. Cut the SAS, turn on my RCS, and then I'm going to use the RCS to turn my ship. Also, what I forgot to mention is some engines have a gimbal on it, which allows it to kind of stabilize your ship, go in circles. These engines don't have it, and that helps you turn as well. Alright, so I'm going to lock it. That's nice and even like that. Turn off my RCS, slowly throttle up here. Alright, now if I watch my orbit here, it should be starting to expand, yeah. This is your orbit telling you where you're gonna go. Now, these engines right here are going to run out of fuel soon. That's okay. A bit lower than I'd like to be. So let's cut the engines one more time and pitch up slightly. Like that, so we're still getting a bit of altitude. There we go, and that's going up. I want to be out of the atmosphere at my apoapsis, for sure. Right. I'm not the best at making orbits, as you can see here, with my satellites. Which, by the way, satellites aren't necessarily man-made. They could really be anything orbiting anything. Alright, so actually, this is the best orbit I've ever done. And we just ran out of fuel. So our apoapsis is at 485,000 meters, and our periapsis is a bit low. So I'm going to try and make that higher. So I'm going to separate stages here. Here's my smaller capsule. Okay. So we're going to need to turn the rocket here to face away. Point north right there. Lock it right there. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna hit my engine here. There we go. Okay, that's not doing what I wanted it to. It's doing quite the opposite. So let's spin it the other way. Nope. Come on. There we go. There we go. This isn't going to be a perfect orbit here, but I'm going to stop that right there. Alright. I'm going to separate from my rocket. And here is my capsule. So this is... Oh, I'm going to show you the EVA. So, it's my little Kerbal. This space jetpack. Ooh. I could fly over to this debris. And this debris will stay in orbit with me. And the force from the decoupler will keep me going just a little bit faster than it. So, I'm going to put this guy back in his capsule here. Anyway, guys, this is KSP, Kerbal Space Program, and it was just updated to 0.18, which added docking, which I'm not too good at. But the beta version is free, so you can feel free to try that out. It's a bit old, but even still, it has all the orbiting mechanics that I have shown you. So let's just speed up the time here and go around. Just make sure it's all going to work out here. Alright. Now, actually, if I'm really lucky, I dropped my engine, so it won't happen. I don't even have a docking core. But I set up a space station here. It's going to orbit around. I can fly up to that and dock up to it, and refuel and whatnot. That's what space stations are used for, longer range missions, such as that. It's kind of like a space hotel, if you will. Anyway, guys. Ooh, okay, that kind of scared me. This is KSP, and this is Retro Apocalypse. Thank you for watching. See you next time.